What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Hope you're all well, people. And just over 24 hours to go until Arsenal are back in action. Seems like just the other day that the Premier League season was finishing. Didn't quite get the title, of course, but we're back in action tomorrow, first preseason game. And looking forward to it, to be honest. Obviously, they're playing Nuremberg over there in Germany. And then the US tour starts next week. So football is coming back around the corner, people. Big up for everyone locked in. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for being patient yesterday, man. You know, streaming with a cold and the voice sounds different. A little bit better today, so we're getting there, people. But big up to everyone in the community. Appreciate everyone locked in as always. And looking forward to getting into today's show. Clock Orange Curtis, I want to hear a trap mix of your intro. I'll ask a friend to make one. Yeah, man, let me know. CurtisShawTV@hotmail.com. Send me it, whatever. I'm about. Gutted I missed yesterday's stream. Health as well. I've had to take care of mine. Happy to be back with the community. Big up, Boss J. Arsenal stream have scammed me, says Guna8. What happened, bro? Let me know what happened. Big up Snake Eyes, Big C. Yeah, don't worry, man. I'm on the honey and lemon. We'll soon be back to 100%. Big up Arsenal future as well. Big up everyone locked in. Wasim. Lex said you're sounding more like Sean Dyche. I know, I can't lie. A bit like that. Listen, you know, I'm a bit under the weather at the moment, so I'm on the honey and lemon. I better not do that for too long, actually, before, you know, everything mash up. MD, I will be doing a watch along tomorrow, 6 p.m. kickoff UK time. We'll be live from about 5:15 p.m. UK time, 45 minutes build up. And yeah, we'll be live, Arsenal against Nuremberg, people. Listen, and thank you for all the well wishes. It's only a little cold, people. We're good, man. Let's talk Arsenal. We're going to talk a couple of different names today. Obviously, I will talk about the two players, Timber and Rice, which I have to say, and I said this yesterday, and I don't want to sound like a spoilt football fan, because there will be some people who say, you're spoilt, they're spending big money and you're still complaining. No, I feel like they've taken the excitement out of the transfers. I feel like if they were to announce Timber, I'd be like, all right, whatever. I've known about that for weeks. You know, I think sometimes you get linked with a player, you're excited, the deal progresses, you sign them, you announce them, and the hype starts. People are buying the shirt, people are gassed about the player. It's like the excitement level's gone out of it a little bit, which is a shame, but listen. The good thing is they are Arsenal players. I don't see any of those deals collapsing. It's just a shame that they've dragged both of them out for so long. I don't really know why the Timber one is being delayed so much. With Declan Rice, it's such a huge transfer fee. Maybe, you know, solicitors and stuff take a little bit longer. Gunnar8 said he was charged $15.99 for 4 friendlies 4 times. Gee, listen, they got to get that Declan Rice money somewhere, bro. Make sure they give you your money back, though. I can't lie. That's crazy. They done you dirty there. But yeah, we're going to speak about a few players that we're being linked with. And obviously, we will speak about Rice and Timber. But let's talk about a couple of different names that we're being linked with today, people. And I'll get your thoughts and opinions on these. So one player we're being linked with today is Crystal Palace winger Michael Olise. Now, Olise's an interesting player for me because I've got to admit I'm very split on Olise. I look at him and I think the talent level is there. I think his potential is very high. I think he could really become a top level footballer. Plays for France under 21s. Patrick Vieira is obviously the manager. He signed him. He's come through the championship, so he's done it the dirty way, the difficult way. 37 games last season. The interesting thing, what I was really surprised with, was that Olise only scored 2 goals last season. 2 goals in the Premier League. One of them was against Man United, that free kick last minute. I don't know who he scored the other one against. Yeah, Wasim, I can't lie. You know, yeah, after he gave away that penalty against Man City, man, I can't lie. I was a little bit like, I was vexed, people, because I felt like that was a definite 0-0 draw. Who knows what happens to City if they draw that game? I think the problem you've got And this is where we have to kind of understand the situation, people, is that we're trying to sign a right winger. It's clear to see we're trying to sign a right winger. I don't think you can sign a top quality right winger while you've got Saka at the football club. Because every player is going to ask the question, okay, if you want to sign me, how much game time am I getting? Saka played nearly every game last season. So if you're Olise, who's just played 37 games for Crystal Palace, missed one game, starts nearly every week, he's in the French under-21 squad, you know, the Euros at the end of the season, anything can happen, people. You get 2 or 3 injuries to a wide player in the French setup, he could go to the Euros. I don't expect it to happen, but stranger things have happened. Now, he comes to Arsenal. How many starts does he get on the right wing for Arsenal with Saka, unless Saka gets an injury? He's not kicking a lot of football. So, I'm saying, yeah, get me Serge Gnabry. Get me, this player. But Gnabry, if he comes to Arsenal, he wants to play every week. He's a German international. He's on 200,000 a week. He'd cost 60 million, 70 million. He ain't coming to Arsenal to sit down on the bench. That is the problem. So we may end up getting a player of this sort of level to come and become a squad player. I'm with Henry. I prefer Eze. I got to be honest, but they're different positions. And Eze had a bad injury as well. But he has got his call up for England. That's how City do it. They do it, but I think the difference with them, when you're the Champions League winners, although they've only just become that, but they've got crazy finances. They've got a manager that's very experienced and knows how to manage that sort of squad. I think you've seen with Arteta, anything that can cause him a problem, he gets rid of it. Pep knows how to have a superstar on the bench. It's no problem to him. He's a big boy manager, So I think that's where Arsenal need to aim for, that we've got top quality players on the bench. But City have the money, City have the trophies, City have the manager to be able to deal with that situation where Pep can say to Mahrez, sit down, bro. Sit down and relax. You're getting your 200 grand a week. You're still going to get a Champions League winners medal. I'll still give you 17, 18 starts in all competition. Has Arteta got that kind of ability to do that? First of all, we don't have the trophies. Second of all, okay, we do have the money, but we don't have City money, and Arteta ain't Pep. But that's what we need to aspire to be, that top quality players are on the bench. I do agree with you. Daniel said, you're right. I prefer Zaha. Well, I think Zaha could be on his way to Saudi. Clement said Olise is better than Nelson. I suppose the thing with Nelson would be, why give Nelson a 4 or 5 year contract on 100 grand a week if you're simply looking to not give him no game time? Because he's not playing on the left with Martinelli and Trossard and Smith Rowe. So you would think that Nelson would be the second choice right winger for Saka, but it does look as if Arsenal are looking for a right winger. So with Olise, I think Olise's got a lot of talent. People saying he looks like Digger D in the comments. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think he's somebody that you could have on the bench and rotate, and you could develop him and things like that. I do think he is a talented player. I was a little bit concerned once I read that he'd only scored 2 goals in 37 games. That is something he would drastically have to improve. He did get 11 assists, so clearly a very good creative player. Crystal Palace apparently looking for around £50 million for him. Obviously, they've lost Zaha on a free, so they're not going to be willing to let Olise go on the cheap. Just quickly in the comments before we move on, would you take Olise? Is he worth £50 million? I suppose, nowadays you pay 50 million for just potential when players haven't done a lot. So, I don't know. I'm not sure for me. I like Olise. I would take him. 50 million, I don't know if I would spend that much money on him. I feel like you could get a better winger for 50 million than Olise, but he does have a lot of potential. Monty says Pogba for 10 million. Monty, I'm a big fan of Paul Pogba, but the brother's too injury prone, man. He's got to go Saudi and collect. I saw that he'd been offered like 700 grand, 800 grand a week to go Saudi. That for me is where Pogba should go. I like him. I've always liked Pogba as a player, but too injury prone. Clement said, Palace are mad if they think Olise is worth 50 million. I'd take Olise for 35. You know, the thing is, though, Clement, I'm with you. I don't think he's worth 50 million. But if you're Crystal Palace, you're saying, well, hang on a minute. Mudryk cost 88 million after one season in the Ukrainian league. You know what I mean? Olise has had a full season in the Prem, done pretty well. That was his second season in the Prem, in fact. So the reality is they are going to ask for 50 million quid. I don't blame Palace for asking for that. I don't think he's worth it. But the modern game is crazy at the moment. One decent season, 40, 50, 60 million. So these Mudryk deals and deals like that have just inflated the market. I'll quickly get a poll up. More polls than a strip club, people. Would you take Olise for 50 million? For me, I think it's overpriced. I don't think he's done enough to be worth that, but I can understand why Palace would want that when you look at the market. The market's massively inflated. And Premier League tax, people. Premier League tax. TH says, no. Oliver said Rafinha and Torres don't want to leave Barcelona, apparently. I don't think they'll have no choice. Rafinha will be there. Ross said, I can't see us signing a winger. We are stacked in that area. I think the problem, though, Ross, as I keep saying, it's that right wing. I did say this yesterday, you know, we do have versatility, players that can go there, but no specialist. If Saka was missing for a prolonged period of time, who would you play on the right-hand side for 10, 12, 15 games, you know? Are you sticking with Nelson? Would you put Trossard, Martinelli there? Smith Rowe? I'm not sure. Could Havertz play there? He's played there at times. E. Ross said, too many damn taxes. I'm telling you, Premier League tax, English tax. Well, he's not even English, Olise, but you know what I'm saying. We are broke after the Rice deal. It's Primark settings now. Listen, as much as I'm laughing at that comment, David, you might not be far off. I think we've done our biggest shopping of the summer. I think now you might see us try and go bargain hunting a little bit. Big up Simon, who said, get a striker who can share duties with Jesus. When you want to rest Saka, Jesus can play on the right. I'm with you on that. I really want Arsenal to get a striker. I just think the striker market at the moment is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And which is why I think you might as well just give Balogun a go. For me, you know, that's what I would do. I don't think there's an answer out there. It's not... I tell you something. This is... If your club needs a striker in this window, you are going to struggle. This is one of the worst striker markets that I've ever seen, to be honest. You could go and get Osimhen. I saw the Napoli chairman saying he wants 150 million for him. Kane, Tottenham won't sell him by the looks of it. I'm seeing Jonathan David linked with moves again for 50, 60 million. What's he really done? He's getting the same goals as Balogun. It's a terrible market. Vlahovic being linked with PSG. There's not a lot out there. Man United need a striker. Chelsea need a striker. Okay, Arsenal could do with another striker, but at least we've got a decent striker in Jesus. You know, United don't really have a striker. Chelsea don't really have a striker once they sell Aubameyang and Lukaku. So I think... This is why, for me, honestly, I know I've said this before, and I see some of you saying it in the comments, I would go to Brentford right now and sign Ivan Toney for January, because I'm telling you now, he's a gem. He scored over 20 goals last year playing for Brentford. The ban does not put me off signing him. He had a little gambling addiction. We can deal with that. Sign him up, get him in January. I would still go and sign Ivan Toney. Go and give them Eddie and Nketiah and 40 million, something like that. If you got to get rid of Balogun, give them Balogun and 30 million, 40 million, whatever. I would definitely go and do that even now. Aya said, trust me, Big C, this Olise kid is the next big thing. Watch Madrid and then battle for his signature in a few years' time. Wow, giving him some major props there. We'll have to see what happens with him in his career. Ivan Toney is fire, says Mohammed. Chris said I'd sign Toney. Arsenal won't. They won't. The PR will scare them off. Oliver said Toney is my guy. Mitrovic going Saudi, says J-Down. They've had a 30 million offer rejected, but apparently the player wants the move, because, again, I was reading, I think Mitrovic gets around 95,000 a week. Well, the Saudis are going to go, oh, you want to stay in the Prem? We'll treble that. He'll go straight away. So, We got 3 strikers, well, 2.5. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And 2 unproven ones in the Prem. Sadio Mane, yeah, being sold for about 17 million. I like Mane, but left winger, man. I know he can play up front, but not ideally. Have you seen Balogun's inside training clips? He's ready. I mean, look, I like Balogun, and I want Balogun to stay, and I respect your opinion, Roy. I don't get caught up on training clips. You know, I've trained with players who are great in training, and stink out the joint on a match day, man. It's a lot different. But I hear you. Al Hilal have offered 475k a week for Mitrovic. Wow. Big up, Ben. How you feeling today, mate? Still a bit bunged up. Yeah, a bit bunged up, but we're getting there. Tour on Monday, you know. I got to be ready for America. Zamunda, the Prince, Hakeem. I'm on my way, people. I'm on my way. Can't wait for the tour next week, man. Going to be lit. Anyway, let's move on. Let me end that poll, actually. Would you take Michael Olise from Palace? 77% of you say no, not for £50 million. 23% say you would take him. Yeah, I will be doing US vlogs. So when I'm over there, my plan is to do a daily transfer video, like in Orlando. I'll probably be walking up and down the street. I'm going to do a vlog for each city. So I'll do a vlog at the end of the few days in Washington, one for New York, and one for LA. And I will try, if the Wi-Fi is good enough, and do some live streams while I'm there and stuff like that. So hopefully link up with a lot of you over there as well, man. So yeah, man, big up to everyone locked in. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. We're about 30 subscribers away from 64k. So let's hit another milestone today. If you haven't subscribed, lick down that button. I suppose before we move on, we will talk about Declan Rice and Jurrien Timber, because I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Declan Rice put out videos and pictures yesterday on his social media. He's training in Portugal. Apparently he's back in the UK now. But he was training in Portugal with a coach, and he was actually training with Rafa Leao and Bruno Fernandes, I think, was there a few days ago as well. So him and Rafa Leao training with a coach over there in Portugal, obviously doing a lot of, you know, running and gym work and all sorts of things like that. Obviously, there's no chance that he's going to be joining Arsenal over there in Germany. The game is tomorrow. But the hope and intention is that he travels over the weekend to America with Arsenal. Again, all we're hearing is that the paperwork is with the lawyers. I don't know what kind of lawyers they got working on it, but they're moving mad slow. They're moving, yeah, Adidas athletes, was it? Fair enough. Can you imagine? I know it's not going to happen, but can you imagine if that deal collapsed? Anne said, I bet they're waiting until we're in the US for the added PR. It's a good point. It's a good point. You announce it Monday while you're in America. There's pandemonium. You know, it'd be typical Arsenal, but why wait so long? Mark said, hello, Curtis. I have surgery tomorrow for broken bones in my right leg, and maybe I don't walk for 5 months. Hope the surgery goes well. Safe operation, bro. Hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in. Hope we can lift your spirits somewhat. Sam said, I'll be in New Jersey, Big C. Hopefully I get to see you. Yeah, man, I'll let people know where the events will be and the link-ups and all them sorts of things. But I don't get this. Duty solicitor settings, man. It sounds like the court have given them these solicitors. Announce the damn signing. I've just got to the point now, I'm keeping it 100. I've given up on the announcement. I'm going to keep it 100, people. Rice and Timber announcements for me, I've just given up. In my head, we've signed both of them. They'll play in America. None of them will play in Germany tomorrow. Forget it. When they announce them, the announcement video probably won't be that good anyway. So I'm moving on from it. So that's where I'm at. Curtis shirt rip uploading if the Rice deal falls through. Can you imagine if we ever announce the damn signing, make the merch? You know, yeah, you're right. Latte, big up yourself as well, bro. Big up yourself. They'll be announced for the US tour. And then the second part of that, obviously, like I said, Declan Rice was in Portugal. Apparently, he's back in London now. Oh, hold on. I've gone back to the same picture. Was Urian Timber. Now, they were saying today, Arsenal had initially planned to give Urian Timber minutes against Nuremberg tomorrow, hinting an announcement could be today. Now, apparently yesterday he was still in Amsterdam. So I'm assuming he's still in Amsterdam. If they'd have announced it today, flown him to from Holland to Germany, I don't see him playing tomorrow. I just don't see them doing that. Unless he's training with the team today, I don't see Timber playing tomorrow. So I don't understand why this one hasn't been announced, to be honest. I mean, is this one with the lawyers and solicitors as well? His brother did a going away party. He had him pictured in an Arsenal shirt. That was on Sunday. So I don't quite get this one. I don't get it. Again, I think they're probably going to wait until, I think Arsenal come back from Germany on Friday. So I think Rice and Timber will probably be announced this week and will go to America with the squad. Or they may even announce the players in America just for hype. The away kit, I believe, is launched while we're in America. So they're probably... it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal tied the whole thing up. New kit, new signings, launch it while we're on tour in America, more hype, and do it like that. But Arsenal, for me, you've had a bit of a clanger with the announcement. But I'm over it. I got to be honest, I'm over it. I'm not even really interested in the announcement now. They've waited so long. Young Gunner said, keep our free strikers until January. Offer Eddie plus 20 million to Brentford for Tony. We have sellable assets and could reinvest in the midfield. The only thing is, I think they'd want more than 20 plus Eddie. I don't think Eddie is worth much, really. And they would value Tony quite high. I think you'd probably have to pay Eddie plus 40 or 50 possibly. But I get your point. Simon said with the World Cup coming up, Balogun will want to play every week because if he is the US star boy, he'll earn $10+ million from endorsement deals. I hear you on that. Him sitting on the bench at Arsenal, you know, that's not going to be a positive for him. Simon said, Ajax need to announce transfer deals to the stock market so they are done after hours, could be after 6 p.m. today. I was thinking about it, that surely they would announce Timber today because I don't think Arsenal would announce a transfer on the day of a game tomorrow. So if it's not today, I think it will be Friday, but I hope it gets announced today just so that we can move forward with it, you know? So, yeah, I hear what you're saying, Simon. Jashar said, big up Curtis, just reach Olise, 75 million or move. Listen, Jay, man, come on. You're part Palace, sort of part Arsenal fan, so you've got to give us, you know, friends discount rate, man. Little 35 million for Olise. We'll give you El Neni on the cheap if you want. You know, we'll sort you out, don't worry. You can have Lakonga back on loan. He did well, didn't he? Well, maybe not. Timber, it's today. It's the 12th. Cormac, Curtis, do you rate Pau Torres? Surprise Villa got him. I rate him. How well he'll do in the Premier League, I don't know, but I rate him. Sebastian Davis, hope you're well. Said, hey, Big C, I've been struggling with mental health over the past few years, but I find your streams really help to clear the mind. Keep up the good work. Listen, bro, hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you always talk to people, express yourself. Glad that the streams can help in some way and appreciate you tuning in, bro. And we're here, community settings. I'm glad that people actually feel comfortable enough to put comments like that in the comments. That's the beauty of this community for me. That's why I call it a goated community, because I think, you know, I've watched some other channels. I don't think people would say that in certain comment sections, but here, you know, that's what we're about. Community settings. Big up Sebastian. Big up everyone wishing him well. I'm glad that we can uplift your mood, bro. So let's talk. Let's move on from Timber because, you know, he'll be here when he'll be here, man. They're still chopping down the trees, people. Maybe they can't chop down the trees, but the Arsenal PR team, you got to ask some serious questions. You signed Kai Havertz. You delay it so long that somebody from the media team leaks it the day before we announce it, which is embarrassing. You then sign Timber. His brother's having a go-away party, which basically announces it, and we don't announce it. And then Declan Rice, he's in Portugal doing Adidas events with Rafa Leao because he's like, are you lot ever going to announce me? It's crazy. The Rice has been overcooked. And the tree hasn't been chopped down yet, people. It's crazy. But we'll get there in the end. I'll see you when we get there. If we ever get there. Let me not sing too much, you know. I still got a bit of a cold. It's affecting my singing voice. I won't be up to the usual standards. What I'm up to, people. Said it yesterday. We're all using Twitter threads while AFC media team's still on MySpace. They probably are, bro. I can't lie. I'm probably one of the only people in the world who's not on Threads, by the way. Everyone's on there. I've decided not to go on there yet, but yeah, you know, I don't know. Big up Digital Disturb, who's got flu as well. We'll get there. Britain's next talent. I'm telling you, if YouTube don't work, I'll go for the singing. Although South London's fine, it's giving me the side eye with the standards. Okay. Surely I can get round the first round at least. But anyway, let me move on. Let's move on, people. Rice and Timber, they're still not here. They're closer than close, people. They're closer than they've ever been to joining the football club officially. So we'll get there in the end. Yeah, John Darren said Threads is dangerous. I'm just saying this. The reason I'm not on Threads is I saw it and I thought, okay, everyone's jumping on it. You know, you're in the YouTube world. You can't be a closed book when it comes to new social media things. You know, let me see. Maybe this is a good app. Then I'm reading that you can't use Threads anywhere in Europe outside of the UK. So I'm like, that's a bit of a red flag. I wonder what the problem is. They are mad invasive of your privacy. Honestly, a lot of you have probably signed up to Threads. Go and look at the stuff that they have access to when you join that social media platform. It's crazy. You know, maybe I'm being a bit of a conspiracy theorist here, but I'm in no rush to join that application. That's all I'm saying. Do your research, people. That's all I'm saying. Jashar said, okay, make it 100 mil. You said El Neni. 100 million Jamaican dollars, and it's a deal, Jay. And you can have El Neni as well if you want. Young Gunner said, disappointed that we've missed out on Savage. 40 million to Saudi. Surely we could have got him as a number 6 or 8, still on the Barella or Chouameni hype. Yeah, listen, Savage has just cashed out. I don't blame him. I said it yesterday, man. Someone quadruples your wages. What are you going to do about it? If you work in an office and you, I love my job. Everyone's so friendly here, blah, blah, blah. And somebody walks in and said, I'm going to give you 4 times more your wages. You're packing up your desk and your laptop and you're on your bike. You're going home. You're going to your new job the next day. So money talks, people, I'm afraid it does. Dre said, big Seeking shout out my little brother Daniel, please. He's a big fan. Big him up. Big up Daniel. Big up Dre as well. It's where Twitter meets Facebook, and I don't know which is worse. Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm staying away from it for now. I'm not interested in it. Anyway, Assassin said, Curtis, off topic. Have you seen the quality of videos posted by Liverpool and City on their YouTube? It's quality. Arsenal need to improve. We're lacking behind in terms of media. We're way behind. I said this before. But hopefully they'll get there. I suppose it's more important what's on the pitch than what's happening on the YouTube channel. You can only delete your Threads account by deleting your Insta. You're spot on with your Threads take, says Simon. I'm in no rush to go on there, bro. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's move on. Right, who else have we got to talk about? Well, Arsenal are chasing a Brazilian Wonderkid. Although I called him a Wonderkid and then did my research and found out the brother's 23 years of age. So, but Arsenal are apparently about to make an offer. Arsenal have sent a club representative to Porto Alegre to send a proposal to Gremio for 23-year-old midfielder Bitello, which is expected to arrive in the coming days. Gremio want 10 million euros for 70% of the player's rights. You know these deals are a bit dodgy all the time anyway. Sometimes in South America, the agent owns part of the player and you got to pay the agent some money and you got to pay the club some money. It's a crazy way of making money, but I suppose it does work for agents over there in South America, especially. Bitello, I mean, don't know anything about him, to be honest. I went on YouTube. I typed him in on social media. So basically, he plays centre mid He's 23 years of age. He's uncapped, which is never a good sign at 23. You'd like to think he'd been capped by Brazil by that age. Got 7 goals in all competitions last year. Gremio were promoted, so they were in the 2nd division. Listen, there's not a lot I can say. The thing that worries me about this, let me tell you what worries me about this deal. I mean, Zhao saying he's talented but too average for Arsenal. What worries me about this deal is if you're signing a 17, 18, 19-year-old, no problem. They're going to come in, they're going to sit down, there's no pressure, no expectation to play them. They're a teenager. And if they turn into a Martinelli, then great. This lad's 23 years of age. So are we signing him? Is this going to be the next centre midfielder that we're trying to sign? Because we're saying we want Barella. We want Tchouaméni. Will we get Lavia? They're the kind of players that we're wanting to see in midfield. If we're signing this lad, is he good enough? He's not even playing in the top division in Brazil. Now, people are saying Martinelli came from the 3rd, 4th division, but Martinelli was a youngster. He played Europa League. There was no rush for him to get in the first team. That's a lot different. This one, just, I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. If you're adding him as a number and you say, right, we've got Jorginho, Partey, and Rice, El Nenny's going to be there. I don't know how that brother survived another year. When I see El Nenny in the Arsenal videos, I'm like, how the hell has he survived? But this guy, Bitello, I'd say it's a Bitello of a risk. A bit of a risk, a bit of a risk. I'm here all week, people. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. It's a bad dad joke. For some reason, I'm laughing at it a little bit in my head, though. It must be when you get older, you start laughing at your own jokes. But I'd say it's a Bitello of a risk. Just go and get me Tchouaméni or Barella, people. I'm sorry. Like, we're in the chat. People saying time out. I'm sorry. I should go to the naughty step for that, but I couldn't help it. I'm trying to see Tchouaméni come through the door, bro. Who the hell is this? I never heard of this guy at 10 o'clock this morning. 10 o'clock this morning, I'd never heard of this guy. Bitello. I mean, that's a new low, says Dino. People saying, why? I thought you'd have been there with me, but I'm blaming the cold. It's clouding my thoughts a little bit, but as a dad joke, I thought it was all right. El Neni could survive the apocalypse. I don't know. He gets injured. He doesn't play. He comes up smelling of roses, gets new contracts out of nowhere. It's crazy. You're right with that one. You're right with that one. He said, better off having Danilo from Forest. Danilo was playing well in Brazil, had been called up to the Brazilian squad, cost about 17, 18 million, and the brother did well for Forest at the end of the season as well. So, listen, I'm not going to write him off. Darren's saying don't write him off. I'm not writing him off at all. Bitello, yeah, people saying the name sounds good. Bitello, Bebeto, Romario, Rivaldo. You know, we love them one-name Brazilians that sound Brazilian, though. You know what? I was always for the one-name Brazilians when they sounded a little bit, you know, oh. But when you started calling man Fred and things like that, I was like, nah, man, you can't. If you're Brazilian, I want you to be called Bitello, Danilo, Romario, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. You can't say, listen, mate, my name's Dave. You know, my name's Fred. You know, that just don't sound Brazilian. It sounds like, you know, you're from Sheffield or something. So, you know, it just don't work for me. But Bitello, it's an interesting one. I've got 2 words when it comes to this deal. I can't help it. Jason said, Big C, you're a savage. I've got 2 words for this deal. The second one's envelopes, and the first one's brown. Brown envelopes. I'm sorry, it looks like a brown envelopes deal. But if he's a good player, we'll take it. Did I sound Italian there? You know what I meant anyway. We were doing what we were doing. But yeah, apparently they want 10 million euros, 8.5 million. So I'm assuming you buy 70% of the player from the club, and then you go and buy the other 30% off the agent. Or what, you know, it's complicated deal. Is he that good? Listen, I don't know nothing about him. I'm not going to come here and pretend, because I watch a lot of other people that go, oh, I've watched this guy. What a talent. Listen, let's be honest. We've never heard of him. I went on YouTube. He looks all right. It is what it is. I suppose for £8.5 million, it's so cheap, Arsenal might feel like it's worth taking a risk. I'm assuming this is coming from Edu. And it is what it is, you know. So, man sounded like Conte. Oh, I'm sorry, P. I tried to do the Brazilian. It all went wrong. You sounded like Gino de Campo. When the mood hits your eyes. Yeah, it's all mad. Have you already spoken about Rice yet? We've spoken about Rice, mate. He still hasn't signed. Tevez and Mascherano, yeah. You got to buy the player, and then, yeah, it's all mad. So I thought Arsenal usually didn't sign players when you had to do things like this and buy part of the player off the agent and stuff like that. Trixie said, why have we went back to this dumb crap again? He's not happy. Joshua said, Curtis Edu, sure, with negotiating like that. Hey, at least I'm offering decent money, although it is Jamaican dollars. O'Malley said, Bitello is a trusty signing, loan and sell. He seems too old for it. But yeah, listen, apparently he's on about $6,000 a week. They'll bring him to Arsenal, give him 20 odd grand a week. Maybe they loan him out, as long as he's not starting. Although he might, listen, you never know. Listen, I'll say one positive thing to end it. For £8.5 million, it might be worth taking a risk, because we paid 35 million for Fabio and he's done nothing so far. So for 8 million quid, a Brazilian with a flashy name, every now and then one of them's going to be a hit. So listen, why not? I'm not totally against it. If you're signing him to bang him in though and start him, then I'm a little bit concerned. But hey, it is what it is. People saying you got to feel sorry for Cruz in the house with me dropping all them dad jokes. Yeah, I think he just switches off now from them, to be honest. Shelby said, paperwork for Rice taking too long because Arsenal have never spent that much money on a player before. Lack of experience on that room. They don't know what to do. So let's move on from Bitello. And you never know with Brazilians. He might be the next big one. Listen, you got to look at Real Madrid. They as soon as there's a baller in the favela, he's at Real Madrid. They don't care how many games you've played. They're buying them left, right, and centre. And eventually you get a Vinicius Junior out of it. So for 8.5 million quid, I'm not going to complain too much about it. I think for that price, you can take a risk. And Edu, listen, the one thing I always said about Edu being at the club, he should know the Brazilian market better than anybody. He worked directly with the Brazilian national team and the under-21s. So every top youngster in Brazil, he should know about them. You know, Rodrigo too as well, who's done very well. So, you know, it'll be interesting what happens. But that sounds like that's going to happen. This offer, at least anyway. Knight has said, would you take Pogba and Mbappe and we pull out of the Rice deal? Listen, you're offering me killing Mbappe. Of course I would. I'll just take Pogba as collateral damage, you know. Zhao said Barcelona bought a ball of Vitor Roque. Yeah, I saw that announced. Curtis, if Cruz gets an offer in the future from two clubs, which would you pick? Chelsea, 50 million contract, or Arsenal? Be real. Chelsea, we're going to make this a blue, a day. 50 million. Yo, listen, relax. Nah, listen, I'm joking. It would be his choice. It would be his choice, but we'd be at Stamford Bridge. Anyway, let's move on, people. Let's move on. Tricky said, maybe Arteta's building for the flying cars era. Yeah, maybe. We were waiting for that, weren't we? It's funny, when it was the year 2000, they were like, oh, when you get to the year 2020, cars will be in the sky. You remember that kind of stuff that they used to say? You'll be flying in the air. You know, it didn't really change, did it? Young Gunner, can you believe this fraud run Arsenal is still at the club? Never seen such a shambolic player. We've done good business overall, but that was shocking. Potentially the worst signing in history. Shameless, but come on, people. 50 million or 10 million? I'll be there at the bridge, mate. I'm sorry. I'll wear the Arsenal shirt underneath my jacket or something, but it is what it is. Would you let Cruz play for the Spuds for 50 million? Nah. There's no price we'll go there for. I can't lie. But listen, I got to be totally real. He got scouted by Tottenham a couple of years ago, but it was just before COVID, so the trial never finished. But as a player, you can't let the club that you support influence who you play for. I got to be totally honest. Like, if you're trying to make it pro, and your rival club came in for you, what are you going to do? Say no and end up... That could ruin your whole career. It's the reality of the situation. So, yeah, I remember reading an interview that Darren Bent said when he retired, how difficult it was for him to go to Tottenham, being a boyhood Arsenal fan, but you can't damage your career because of the team you support. What you should try and do is go there and get out of there, use it as a stepping stone, But anyway, 50 million, everyone's eating. Exactly, we just rinse them for the money and get out of there. Simon said Valverde cost Real 5 million euros, and look at he's a great player. I'm a big fan of Valverde, by the way. Look at Kane, he's an Arsenal fan. He is. Big Arsenal fan, even though he denies it. Anyway, let's move on again. 2,000 of you in the chat, people. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Are we going to hit 64k before we leave the building today? Surely. We need I think we need 30 odd subscribers. So I know there's 30 odd of you who are watching who haven't subscribed. You might not even realise. Just press that red button. Get yourself in. Curtis Mount is a better signing than Mount, says Chris. I mean, I'm confused there. But I know Man United are playing now, aren't they? Against Leeds in their first pre-season friendly, so I'm sure you're watching that. Jake said Ben Jacobs said Tchouaméni could end up at Arsenal. If he said that, I think we need to get him back on the show, because you can't be saying things like that and creating excitement. Anyway, people, Omid said, as a Madrid fan, I would rather Tchouaméni and Rodrigo leave than just Valverde. He's priceless. Great player, can play multiple positions and never injured. I think he's a top player. And he's proved himself in the Madrid first team. Tchouaméni has not really proved himself yet because he hasn't played that much. Harrison said, big up Big C, are you doing a watch-along for Arsenal tomorrow? 100%. I'll be here. 5:15, I'm going live. 6 p.m. kickoff. Arsenal against Nuremberg. Kai Havertz, debut for Arsenal. Words that I never thought would come out of my mouth. Chris, don't worry, spell check got you. He said, Curtis Mount is a better signing than Havertz. Well, I'm gonna wait on Havertz. I've got my opinions. I've made them clear. I'm not happy about the signing, but I'm gonna give him an opportunity. I honestly couldn't believe how tall Kai Havertz is. Somebody was saying he's 6'3", 6'4". He looks massive in the training videos. He looks like a giraffe. He's so tall, but doesn't mean he's going to be a good player. Are you doing a watch-along for Jamaica, Mexico? I'm going to keep it 100. I won't be doing a watch-along for it. The only reason I'm not doing a watch-along for it is it's on at like 3 o'clock in the morning UK time. And, 3 a.m. And sometimes when the game's on that late, I'm falling asleep during the game. So it might end up as a snooze along. So, if it was on at midnight, I would have possibly done it. We'll do the final. We'll try and do the final. But yeah, I won't be. But yeah, Arsenal watch along tomorrow, live from 5:15. We'll be there, Zhao. We will be there. And Bargav said, big up Big C, finally catching you live again. Thoughts on Savic to the carpet? He's an all-action player, possibly even better than Rice, in my opinion. Well, the Saudi money's got him, bro. He's on 400 odd grand a week, so that one's done. I would have been interested in him if he hadn't have gone. It seems like everyone's looked at him but never really signed him, which I don't understand. Is there something in his game that's lacking? I don't know. He's the tallest player we have, said Darkside. Sebastian said criminal. They are charging for preseason game. Honestly, for me, and I'm sorry I haven't read the rest of it, but you've just got me started here. I know that football clubs have to make money. I understand it. I totally get it. I think the fact that Arsenal charge, £6-7 per game for pre-season. I mean, you're charging fans to watch a game against Nuremberg, a second division club in Germany. I'm sorry, maybe the Barcelona and Man United game. It's a huge game. It's costing a lot of, but you're for Nuremberg in Germany with half our team not playing. I'm sorry, this club, I love Arsenal. I'll always be an Arsenal fan. I understand it's a business. I understand you have to make money. But I'm a genuine believer that life is about give and take. And sometimes I'm like, they take in too much. Numerous training kits. When do they ever say, oh, there's a game tomorrow, you can watch it? You can just watch it on YouTube, Arsenal against Nuremberg. When did they ever do that? I've seen Liverpool do it. I've seen Man City do it. I know I'm harping on, but I think it's disgusting that they're charging fans to watch a game like that. And it's about £6-7. It's ridiculous. Like they couldn't just show that game for nothing. But, you know, it is what it is, I'm afraid. It's business, and maybe I'm just getting old, and this is how the game goes. Needed the streaming to pay for Declan Rice. Maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need the money from tomorrow before the lawyers complete the deal. But it's shocking. The club just paid 200 million pre-season. Ticket prices are out of this world. Bro, even the game against Monaco for the Emirates Cup is sold out straight away. This club are not short of money, let me tell you. Have you seen the ticket prices for the games in the US? They're through the roof. $250 to watch the MLS All-Stars against Arsenal. $170 to watch the Man United game, and about $120 to watch the Barcelona game. They're making an absolute fortune. Remember last season, the pre-season game against Everton? It was free on their website. Were people watching it through the Everton channel? Yeah, flights booked to the US. Flying out next week. Can't wait, bro. Can't wait. BT even show the European Champions League final for free. Big up Harry for becoming a member. I did say we'll do a member stream this week, so I'm going to stick by that promise. It may have to be... We could even do it tomorrow. Could possibly do it tomorrow. I will let you know. I will let you know. Keep your eye on the community page. We could do it tomorrow during the day. Because if there's not enough news, we won't stream. We'll wait till the watch along. So we could do the member stream before. Keep an eye on the community page. Anyway, let's move on to the next story, people. 2,000 of you in here. Make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 64k today. We need less than 30. It's 25 subscribers now to hit 64k. Right, another player that we're being linked with. A player that we've been linked with. And a player that... I mean, I am looking into the Discord, by the way. I am looking at the Discord, setting up a group. Elliot says, well said, we're being taken to the cleaners, 100%. But they know, listen, football fans were addicted. We're addicted. I've said it many times before. We're addicted to football and fans, and they know that. They've got us. Journalist Graham Bailey has suggested Arsenal are continuing to monitor Ferran Torres, with Barcelona keen to move the forward on during the summer transfer window. Torres is the odd man out. He isn't really fitting in, and there is interest in England. Arsenal are keeping a watching brief. They like him a lot. We know Mikel worked with him at Manchester City. I mean, I'm going to put a poll. I'm going to put a poll up about Ferran Torres, and I'm going to give you my opinion. I don't want my opinion to have any influence on your opinion. I tell you that the positive potential of this deal is that they're saying it could be a loan with an option to buy. Which isn't bad because it's sort of a free hit with an option to buy. They just want the wages to be paid, although it did say Barcelona ideally would want a permanent transfer. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. I do not rate Ferran Torres. Right? I'm keeping it a book. I don't rate him. I always say to myself, if Barcelona or Real Madrid are selling a Spanish player who is a decent age, there's a problem. They don't just get rid of Spanish players. Like, he's 23 years of age, and Valencia sold him to Manchester City. He was at Manchester City for 18 months, and Pep got rid of him. Why did Pep get rid of him in 18 months when he wanted him? He's Spanish. He's gone to Barcelona. He's had 2 years at Barcelona. Barcelona are now trying to get rid of him, talking about take him on loan. I'm not a fan of him. He's better on the left as well. He's another player that's not great on the right. I don't rate him. Listen, if they signed him on loan with an option to buy, I'm not going to cry about it because it's a try before you buy kind of thing. But to get him on a permanent deal, absolutely no chance would I want this guy at Arsenal. I don't rate him. I think he's lightweight. And I'm just, I don't rate him. I don't rate him at all. Why would Barcelona have got so many wingers, and he seems to be the one they want to get rid of? They're keeping Ansu Fati, they're keeping Rafinha, they're keeping Dembele. They want this guy out the door. I think he's bang average. Somebody's saying he's on decent wages as well. Let's have a look at his wages. Ferran Torres wages. Let's have a look on Sport Rack. Ferran Torres weekly wage is 120,000 euros, just over 100 grand a week. Yeah, I just don't rate the guy. When he was in the Prem, I thought lightweight, can't see him making it. Pep got rid of him after 18 months. There is no way. Pep's another one. How often does Pep sign a player and just bin them the next season? It doesn't happen. He knew there was a problem. He looked at me and thought, you're talented, but you're not going to work in the Prem. Get yourself back to Spain. Now they're trying to dash him. I don't rate him. I would rather take Zaha, no banter. I don't want little lightweight players. We need powerhouses. So, yeah, for me, don't go anywhere near him. Hell no, we're meant to be going for the title. It's another Man City reserve player. Wasn't Torres suspended? Suspended. Wasn't Torres supposed to be homesick? Yeah, I did hear that when he was at City. They were talking about he wants to go back to Spain and stuff like that. But now all of a sudden, he can't get a kick. So he wants out of there. Oz said, Curtis, do you think it would be smart to hold on to some cash? Real Madrid need to make funds for Mbappe. I think there's a real standoff at the moment with Madrid and Mbappe. I think they're struggling to get him. It's a good point. You find often towards the end of the window, some big players start to become available and you might be able to get them. If you've spent all your money, all of a sudden you're going, damn. We could have got this guy, but we've already spent up. But the problem is now you can see that Arteta wants deals done early. Is that Villarreal player available? Chukwueze? Yep, they're saying Chukwueze about 30 million. I think that could be a better option. People saying that Nelson's better. Brazy said Nelson's better than Ferran Torres. Zaha, yeah, listen, he's going to go Saudi for big money, I think. That's why Tchouaméni might be cheap. Tchouaméni would be a fantastic signing for Arsenal. I think the problem at the moment is that PSG are still speaking to Mbappe. What I was reading is they're going to offer Mbappe a huge 1-year contract extension to try and get him to stay for one more season so that they can sell him next season rather than him going on a free next summer. He's a Parisian boy. He's a PSG fan. They will be explaining to him, if you stay for one more year and go next summer, you've crapped on the club and walked out for nothing. So, but Tchouaméni would be brilliant. I think Tchouaméni would be open to leaving. I know it's hard for players to leave Real Madrid. The only thing that I was reading that may stop him from going, and there was a report out the other day, and I don't know how correct this is, but this Real Madrid channel was saying that Tchouaméni is the only sort of more defensive midfielder within that Real Madrid group. He was like, Camavinga's a bit more attacking, Bellingham's more attacking, Valverde's attacking. Tchouaméni will be the more defensive-minded one. He just needs to wait for maybe Toni Kroos and Modric to go. I think they're both leaving at the end of next season. So it's interesting. It's not easy to walk out at Real Madrid. They consider that the pinnacle of football. But like Rohan's saying, it's the Euros in the summer. Can he afford to sit on Real Madrid's bench for another season? He could come to Arsenal and play every week. If Chew is available, the price on Lavia will drop as well. Yeah, because everyone's fighting for Lavia at the moment. So they're using that as a way of, getting more money for him. 50 million for Lavia is too much, really. One good year at Southampton. So yeah, but Tchouaméni would be an unbelievable signing if we could get somebody like that through the door. But to get him in, does that mean you've got to get rid of Thomas Partey? And as I've said many times, I would ideally like to hang on to Thomas Partey. But I'll be honest, I would let Partey go for Tchouaméni because of the age. I would. Partey's now 30, Tchouaméni's 22, 23. I would actually give up on Partey for him, but I would like to add him to him would be even better. So, yeah, Ferran Torres for me. Let's have a look what you're saying on the votes. 68% of you are saying no. 32% say yes. I get it. On loan with an option to buy. It's not a terrible, terrible deal. Assassin said Curtis Mount is having a stinker. Pace and pound. But listen, I'm not gonna say too much. I need to see Havertz in an Arsenal shirt. Need to make sure we're handling business first, before I start laughing. There is a little smirk in my head though, thinking about Mount struggling. But Big C, would you take Kudus? Apparently he's lightning quick, can play any position across the top three. P.S. My Twitch is blocked. I'll try and sort that out. I don't know why that's blocked. But I'll check that, Jason. Try and get that on block for you, bro. Lavia gives me Basuma vibes. Similar. I think we need some more power, some more energy in midfield. I think what Arsenal need is the ability that when a game becomes difficult, we can still manage it against the better teams. When Man City started to turn the heat up at the Etihad, our nice, pretty football, you need to be able to weather the storm. It's not all about bopping teams off the pitch and winning. Sometimes you turn up and someone can bop even better than you, which City can do. City can go up another level to what we can do. Sometimes you need players that can just weather the storm. Go and shut down De Bruyne. Go and bully Haaland. Go and get hold of Bernardo Silva and make life difficult for them and then find your way back into the game. What all Arsenal had was, we're going to try and play our football, you're going to try and play your football, and the winner takes all. And Man City's football was another level above ours. That's what we need to deal with this season. We need to be able to just dig deep and battle our way through games sometimes. We know we've got the quality. We know we can bop teams off the pitch. But what we don't have is that plan B. You look at the Invincibles. Yeah, we could bop teams off the pitch, but Vieira could go and bully someone if necessary. Henry was strong. Even Bergkamp was a little bit nasty at times. So that's why I think we could do with a Tchouaméni or a Lavia, to go with Partey, to go with Declan Rice, give us some physical presence. Also why I would like to see us get a physical striker as well. Partey is injury prone, no plan B. He is, but he played 33 games this year, and 2 of them he was on the bench. So 35 games out of 38 he was available this season. So he hasn't actually been injured much this season. But I hear you, the first 2 years he was way too injury prone. Ryan Gravenberch, Big C, says that I like him. He's been linked with Liverpool, a few other clubs. Good player. A lot of potential. Marcel said Arsenal missing that nasty streak and the dark arts in their team. 100%. One thing I'd say with Arsenal was still a little bit nice. Got to get a bit nastier, I think. Got to bully teams. Got to beat teams up sometimes. There's nothing worse. I tell you, as a player, even at the levels I've played, and you'll know a lot of you have played football at different levels, there's nothing worse than playing against a good team that is also strong and fast and, they don't give you anything. I still think if you was playing against Arsenal, you'd think, I can still get a bit of time on the ball. They're not that physical. They don't work the dark arts that well. I think we can still add that to our game. Still get another physical centre midfielder. Get a physical striker as well. And I think we're cooking. I think we're 3 players away from being capable of maybe getting past that Manchester City team. And even then we might not. But I think we need a centre mid, a right winger and a striker. Because someone messaged me yesterday in the chat and said, now that you've got Rice, Timber, Havertz, do you think Arsenal will win the title? And I said, no, I don't think we will. And he was like, what? You've just spent £210 million. I said, yeah, but I don't think those 3 players elevate us above Manchester City. Unless a few other factors kick into gear as well. They've won the treble. Maybe they don't have the same level of hunger. Maybe Haaland gets injured this season for a longer period of time. You know, those sorts of things would have to work in our favour as well for us to win the title. But if it's just them playing well and us playing well, I still think they have more quality than us and squad depth. I would still like to see a different striker come in. I would still like a right winger. I would still add another midfielder. But that's a lot of money. And are they going to spend even more money? So let's get into a few of your comments. Make sure you subscribe. We're nearly at 64k. If you haven't subscribed, hit that button. 2,000 of you in the chat on YouTube. 48 of you on Twitch. Big up the whole C unit. Big up Andrews. Just joined the stream. 108 sheep on the loose. Scariest player is Tierney because he wears short sleeves in winter. Yeah, I don't know. I saw Tierney was wearing a tracksuit in the sunshine, and then in the winter he's wearing shorts and t-shirt. I don't get it. I hope he stays though. Havertz will smoke teams in the Xhaka role. Watch this space. I'm going to be totally honest. Havertz, I've said it before, I think is the riskiest signing that Mikel Arteta has made since he's joined the club because of the transfer fee, the wage, the expectation, the fact he's ex-Chelsea as well. I think all of those things will you know, sort of count against him. But I've got to be honest, there is part of me that is like, you know what? When I'm watching, because once a player signs for you, all you can do is accept it and hope that it works. It doesn't mean you're a fan of it. It doesn't mean you was supporting it from the get-go, but you've got to hope it works and just say, okay, let's give him a chance. I'm watching Havertz in the training videos and I'm like, you know what? I really hope something happens here. I hope you surprise people because I've said all along, there's no question about Kai Havertz's talent. It's about the production. He hasn't produced enough in the Premier League. Maybe playing up front, maybe playing for Chelsea has been the problem. Playing a little bit deeper for Arsenal, and we have a fantastic style of football, will get the best out of him. I hope so. I'm not going to come out with chest and say he's going to smoke teams, but I think he'll do better than what he did at Chelsea, which ain't difficult. He was pretty terrible at Chelsea. Havertz looks a bit lazy in training, doesn't look serious. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about training. I'm telling you, a lot of people are lazy in training and great on a match day. But we'll see. I've said it before. Havertz, I think, will either be a genius move or it'll be a disaster. I don't think there's any in between. If not, I can already imagine the meltdown. Yeah, the meltdown will be pending. I can't lie. Alexander said, would you take Kolo Muani if we got the choo-choo train? Would you take him or Torres? Listen, obviously, Chouameni would be great. Muani looks good and lively. I'm just not sure about the numbers being mentioned. You know, they're asking for 70, 80 million for him. I don't think he's that good. But he's lively. Jason said, Big C, if we win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, but finish 5th, is that a good season? Probably not. I'd be delighted about the trophies, but you've got to maintain and build on what you did in the league. Brilliant to win the trophies, but no, finishing outside the top 4 is not good enough when you've just finished second and spent over 200 million. Marcel said, season starts in a month. Can't wait for the Prem to be back. Curtis Legendary watch-alongs will be back. Bro, I cannot wait. Champions League. Oh, my days. It's going to be a dream for an Arsenal fan. That is for sure. Balogun has to stay, said Shay O'Donnell. Totally agree. 5th is a Champions League place. That is a great point. I think 5th gets you Champions League. That is a great point, by the way. Big C, do you want Vlahovic the snake? I don't even consider him a snake. He said all along his dream was to go to Juventus. He went to Juventus. They were the champions of Italy. We had just finished 5th in the Premier League. I know we're fans of our club and we look at them as snakes when they reject us. How could you expect a guy to turn down his dream move to go to a club that's 5th in the Premier League? It doesn't make sense. He was always going to go to Juventus. So I've got no hard feelings with Vlahovic. Is he good enough? If he's good enough, take him. I'd still take him. My question mark has always been, how good is he? I honestly haven't watched him that much. I think he's a little bit, I don't know, man. I'm not totally convinced he's that good, if I'm being honest. But he is a good target, man. So maybe he could be like the better Giroud at Arsenal. I always felt Giroud got better after he left Arsenal. But anyway, Would you take Lukaku? I mean, at one stage I was saying yeah, but no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Curtis, what seriously happened to Sancho? He's struggling against Leeds under 21s. Listen, it might be the money. It might be the Premier League. He's not built for it. Apparently, he's had a lot of problems off the pitch. If you combine all those three things, problems off the pitch, a league you haven't adjusted to, Man United still don't have a great style of football, and I think he's better on the left. And let's face it, he's never going to play left wing for United because they've got Rashford. So I think there's a lot of issues there. I still think there's a good player there with Sancho, but it might not be at United. Listen, people, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate your support as always. Look out for the community page. We'll either do the member stream tomorrow or Sunday. I will be back for the watch along tomorrow, 6 p.m. kickoff. I'll be live from 5:15. Arsenal against Nuremberg. Make sure you tune in. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're nearly at 64k. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you all tomorrow, people. Bless.